Bienvenidos Power Bottoms and welcome to a video which I will hopefully have a lot of fun recording. I have a curler on and I don't think I did it right because this is what I have. Okay, so on my video titled How I Caught Him Cheating, I got a comment from a male, I assume, saying that I was being really petty for making that video. They immediately removed the comment before anybody can look at it or comment on it. Coward move, that's fine, I'm not judging. Here's the thing, I disagree. I feel like me making a video on catching my ex cheating on me is not that petty. It wasn't like rumors, you know, it wasn't like stuff I made up. It was just me catching him. I hate what is going on with my hair right now. I don't feel like it was petty. So, I have decided that I will be making a video where everyone can call me petty. And this is the video. So, if you want to listen to me being petty, here it is. If you are an artiste or writer or whatever, you have something to work on, go grab your tablet, sketchbook, homework, start cleaning your room. I don't care what you do. But it is time to start working on something. I will be working on a commission. Their information will be right here if you want to go follow them. It is their OC. I hope they don't mind that I color their drawing while talking about some rather not so cool stuff. And before we get started, you know how I have to offer you guys a drink. So I brought over some big boy cups. They might look dirty, but I promise they're washed. I just don't know how to dry them properly, so they kind of have some markings. It's fine though, they're totally washed. And we will be having some of this. Do not worry, it is not an adult drink. If you read it carefully, it's unopened. And it is sparkling apple cranberry. I don't know if you like cranberry, but it was cheaper than just a normal apple cider. So I'm gonna give you guys a little bit because it's like, you know, you might not like cranberry. Look, is this okay? Just take a sip if you like it. Let me know. If you don't, that's fine. I'm gonna leave it right over here. Alright guys, cheers to a better 2021. Cannot get much worse than this. It's already been a little bit crazy, but we're gonna have a good time on this channel. We're not gonna have a good time, I don't think. Before I start on the actual video, there is another comment I wanted to address. So, on my last video about my relationship, where I talk about how I catch my boyfriend of 2 years cheating on me. The same video that I cried multiple times recalling how I caught my boyfriend cheating on me. Bo, you are really just making the mood not as... You know what? That's a perfect sound effect. Go on, that's fine. The same video, I got a comment from someone saying that my ex-boyfriend sounds funny and adorable on the video where I catch him cheating and I'm crying multiple times. Keep that in mind. Listen. I can't really say why you would think he's adorable. I don't know what I said that made you think he was adorable. However, the funny part, I understand. Not because he's funny, but because the storyteller is funny. No, listen, that sounds way too cocky. If anything that he says or does comes off as being funny, just assume it is me, my theatrics, my whatever it's called, okay? And I'm pretty confident with this because I can promise you that the way he was acting when he actually got caught was not funny. It was not a fun time. I wasn't ha-ha hee-heeing everywhere. Not fun. Not a fun time for me at all. Oh my god, I've been using the wrong brush this whole time. If anything he says or does comes off as funny, it is me. Okay? And, this is where the pettiness begins. Now listen. Just because I said that does not imply Okay, it implies. But it does not mean that I am saying that he is not funny. Because honestly, I feel like humor, just like art, is pretty subjective. Everybody has a different sense of humor. You know, so, you know, just because I didn't necessarily think he was funny doesn't mean he wasn't. Like, I'm sure somebody out there thinks he's funny. It just wasn't me. And that's kind of something I learned about myself and my relationship, my past relationship. I always said that I really, you know what, like, I don't care about looks or whatever, which is tough. That's a lie. But I always said that the most important thing in a relationship for me, or a significant other, is that I want them to make me laugh. I was in a relationship with my ex-boyfriend for 2 years. I've known him for 3 to 4 years, and I can say, without a doubt, that he has probably made me genuinely laugh like 3 times. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but it is not. And if he's watching this, he's like, I made you laugh so many more times. Those were fake, okay? There was like 3 times where I genuinely laughed at what he did or said, and all 3 times wasn't even because he was doing it on purpose. Those were times where he said something really weird or awkward, and I laughed at him. And I know that makes me sound really mean, but he cheated on me, so I feel like whatever I say can't be much worse, you know? I mean, okay, obviously it could be much worse, you know? But, I feel like me saying he's not funny isn't the worst thing in the world to say, so I'm just gonna say it. Again, like I said, just because I didn't find him funny doesn't mean he's not a funny person. But I think our sense of humor didn't really match. I'm going to tell you guys a story of one of the few times he made me laugh. And, brings me to this topic. Letting you guys know right now that I will be covering some not super safe for work topics. If you are a minor, this might not be the video for you. I will put timestamps of, like, places where you should skip over, okay? So this isn't that super not safe for work, but there's gonna be a part in here that's a little bit like that. So, one of the times where he made me laugh, it was so good, oh my god. So we were being intimate, alright? That's just the context of it. And while we were being intimate, like in the middle of it, he refers to himself as daddy. And I immediately lose my mind. I laughed so hard, like the hardest I have ever laughed, and I felt so bad because he wasn't trying to make me laugh. He wasn't trying to be funny. He was like just in the moment. He was in the zone, you know, being intimate with his girlfriend. He's like, I bet I can turn her on by calling myself daddy. And instead, I just bust a gut. I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. It just like, I don't remember too much about it, but I remember just like laughing so hard that I was like, tears were coming out of my eyes, and I felt so guilty. I felt so bad because I'm like, he's trying his best. He's trying his best to, like, you know, make things hot, and here I am crying from laughing so hard. Oh my god, that was like one of the very few times that I have genuinely laughed from something he said. And it just wasn't intentional, and it sucks. There are a couple other times he made me laugh like that, but again, it was around, you know what, it was actually like the same thing where it was like during a moment of passion, and then he said something really weird and I lost it. That's pretty much when he would make me laugh, and I feel so bad about it. I feel so bad about it. I shouldn't feel bad, like, he's not that great of a person, so it's fine to laugh at him, but like, oh my god, I felt so bad. I still kind of feel bad. I still feel guilty thinking about it. Anyways, so speaking of the whole daddy story, I'm going to take you back to December 24th, Christmas Eve, 2019, where I caught him cheating on me. You know that cliche where, like, somebody's breaking up with someone and they say those very famous words, it's not you, it's me. They always say that. So you're kind of just like, I don't know why they say that, right? But that's like the common, that's like the cliche thing to say. With my ex, the complete opposite. He was very much like a, it's not me, it's you type of thing. It was always my fault. For anything bad that happened in the world, my fault. And so when I caught him cheating, instead of being like, you caught me, I did bad, no, you caught me, I'm so sorry. He was like, it's your fault I cheated. It's your fault because you were like this, you're like this, I felt like I couldn't do this. Like all this stuff that just didn't make sense. The daddy thing is because so I was like sitting on the bed crying, sometimes spacing out, sometimes like feeling numb. Apparently you guys have been telling me that I was dissociating, so that's fun. But yeah, so while all of that was going down, he said one of the reasons why he cheated on me and things weren't working out was because I was treating him like a father figure instead of a boyfriend. And I'm very open to criticism, especially with like relationships, like art stuff. I'm pretty open, but I'm gonna admit it kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. But with relationships, I'm so much more open with criticism because I know I'm not perfect. If I want relationships to work, I gotta be open to this kind of stuff. And so when he said, I feel like you treat me like a father instead of a boyfriend, I was like, okay. Can you tell me why? And not like that. I wasn't like that. But I was like, oh, can you like tell me, you know, because I was like, okay, things were clearly not gonna work out. If I have an issue with treating my boyfriend like a father, like I need to figure that out now so I don't do that in the next relationship. So that was my whole thing. I was like, please tell me what I'm doing so that I can just not do that anymore. And he said the reason why he felt like a father was because I was calling him daddy. Now before you even start with the whole daddy kink or the accusations, Leslie Lou Marie has a daddy kink, that is not true. And no offense, you know what, if you, whoever's watching this, if you have a daddy kink, that is so fun, cool for you, live your life as long as you're not hurting anyone, don't care. I personally do not understand the whole daddy thing. And that's fine. It's not for me. So you're probably wondering, then why did he say you were calling him daddy? When I got my dog, Bo, I was calling him daddy, but not like in a gross way. I don't want to say the word gross. I don't want to kink shame people. I wasn't saying daddy in a kink way. I was referring to myself as mommy because I was Bo's mommy. And I was referring to my ex as daddy because he was Bo's daddy. We were gonna move in together soon, and I thought, and I just thought it was fun, you know. I would be like, do you want to go play with daddy? Like, it's not like, you know, it wasn't like supposed to be weird, or like I would hand him off to him and be like, here, go with daddy. Like, it wasn't at all supposed to be like a gross, or, okay, sorry, I keep saying gross, I'm so sorry, I don't want to kink shame people. It wasn't supposed to be a kinky thing. It was literally just, I'm your mommy, he's your daddy, you're a puppy. That's it. So when he said, you call me daddy and that's why you have a daddy problem, I remember thinking like, okay, I'm open to criticism, but I feel like that's not a very valid argument. Like, I call you daddy only because you're my dog's daddy. Like, we're gonna move in together, you're gonna take care of him as well. That just felt like it made sense to me as like it was a joking way, you know. It wasn't like actually serious. Like, I don't believe I'm actually my dog's mom, but yeah, I guess he didn't, and he, you know, he never said he disliked it. He was never like, don't call me that, or that makes me feel uncomfortable. He never corrected me, so I just thought it was okay. But that's fine. I mean, if it made him uncomfortable, that's all on me. I should have read the room, I guess. And I was like, okay, it's kind of a weird argument, but you know what? I didn't speak back to him. I was crying and numb because I caught him cheating, so I didn't say anything back to him. But there are two other arguments that he made for why the relationship wasn't working out. My fault, obviously. So one of the first things he said was, it's not working out because you hate that I'm a vegetarian. here's the thing about that. I do not hate that he's a vegetarian. Why would he say that? So, dude, I knew he was a vegetarian since before we even started dating. Like, it was one of the first things he told me. I was like, that's cool. Wish I could have that willpower, but I don't. And that's it. And he was like, yeah, like, you don't say it, but I can tell you're annoyed by the fact that I'm a vegetarian. And I was like, dude, no. Like, it doesn't really affect the relationship at all. Like, I was always super willing. Like, there are so many places that do offer vegetarian options now. Not all the places, but there's a lot more than there were, right? And not only that, I was never the type of person, like, if I wanted to eat at a place, and he was like, oh yeah, they have, like, if they only had one vegetarian option there, I would not want to go, because I'm like, no, I want you to have more options, like, or he'd be like, you know what, I can just eat fries, like, that's all, like, I'm not that hungry anyways. I'd be like, no, we are not going to this restaurant, because you can only eat fries. Like, that is not a thing that I'm going to do. Like, I was never, ever, ever willing to do, like, put him through that, like, because, okay, like, I understand how hard it is for vegetarians and vegans and anybody with, like, food allergies or whatever, or some kind of food restrictions. Like, I know how hard it is for you guys to find food out there. So if he didn't have enough options, I was like, no way. Like, we're gonna find a place that gives you more options. And yeah, like, there's no way I was ever gonna let him just eat fries, you know. And not only that, but I would literally look up vegetarian or vegan restaurants and, like, save them. And I would be like, we should go here. Like, I want to go here. I want to take you here. And, like, and there's some times where if they're, you know how some restaurants, like, their serving sizes are super large. They're, like, family serving sizes. We only got vegetarian or vegan stuff from those places. We would never get anything with meat in it. Even though he was like, hey, you can order something with meat if you want. Like, I mean, it'll just be for you. And I'd be like, no, it's no big deal. Like, I was totally okay not eating meat and chicken or, you know, whatever. Chicken is meat. But it wasn't a big deal for me to, like, not eat that with him, you know? If it sounds like I'm gonna cry, it's not. I literally sneezed, like, I would say, like, 8 to 10 times before I recorded. And now my throat is just, like, really gross. But yeah, story time about that. Me being petty. So there's one time where we couldn't figure out where we wanted to eat, and I looked up like a vegan restaurant, and he was driving, but I told him, like, the directions to get there, and we got there. It was super cool. It was super, like, hippie inside, which I thought he would like, because he's, like, a stoner and he loves the hippie stuff. Like, so I was like, oh my god, this is, like, perfect aesthetic for him. Like, it's all vegan. Like, he can eat everything on the menu here. This is awesome. And then he wasn't into it. He was like, I don't want to eat here. Like, I just don't like it in here. It's just, like, it's not really what I want to go for right now. And I was like, dude, but you can eat everything here. Like, it's not that big of a deal. He was like, no, it's like, the wait's too long anyways. Like, let's just go. I just really don't want to be here. And he was, like, in a really, really, like, not so good mood, which is really rare for him. Or was rare for him, right? And I was like, okay, that's cool. And I was, like, really sad because I was so excited. I was like, I'm such a good girlfriend. Like, I found this place for him, and we're gonna have such a good time. He can eat everything. Like, do you know how rare that is? That a vegetarian or vegan can eat everything on a menu. I was so proud of myself, and he didn't want to be there. I was like, fine, whatever. I found out that, like, a month or two later, he took the girl he was cheating on me with to that restaurant. That's it. That's the story. But, like he was, I don't know. But yeah, I just remember, like, he was so mad. He was in such a bad mood when I took him there. And to find out that he took his girl, his side chick there, and I'm the one who found it for him, and he didn't want to be there with me. I don't know, man. It was just such a bummer, man. It was so... Who sounds like a stoner now? It was so sad. Anyways, another thing he said when he was, like, breaking up with me, or, you know, after, not breaking up with me, but when I caught him cheating. So yeah, sorry. Just to remind you, he said I didn't like that he was a vegetarian, even though, like, I always try to make effort to, like, include him in meals and try to go to places that he can eat at, whatever, okay? So I had no problem with him. He said he thought that I hated that he was a vegetarian because his family made him feel that way, and I was like, I'm not your, like, I want to be your family someday, but, like, I swear my life, like, I like, admired him for being a vegetarian and, like, for sticking to that since he was, like, 8 years old. Like, I looked up to him for that. I was like, you're so cool. Like, no, I don't hate it, I swear. But whatever. The second argument, or third argument he made when I caught him cheating was, I just feel like, you know, like, you always hated that I smoke weed, okay, and, like, it just made me feel, like, really unwelcome. The thing with that is that, I knew that he was a stoner. Okay, stoner wasn't the right word. I call him that now because he really became one at the end of the relationship, but when we first, like, started actually talking at work, when we met, that was one of the first things he told me, was that he liked to smoke weed. And I was like, that's cool. At the time, I didn't know anybody else who smoked, so it was kind of like, it wasn't weird, but I was like, oh, the first weed smoker I know. It was just like, whatever. But yeah, it was never that big of a deal for me, and you know, he was like, yeah, like, I don't care if my friends do it or not, like, I'm not gonna pressure any of my friends to do it. Bullshit. You know, like, I'm just like, it's just my thing, and whatever, and this is just who I am. He didn't say that, but it just feels like he did, right? So anyways, I had no problems with it. If I did, I could have just not been his friend, but I had no problems with it. But yeah, he said when he was breaking up, or when I caught him cheating on me, he was like, yeah, you never liked that I smoked weed. First of all, like I just said, I could have just ended it whenever if I really hated it. But also, I paid for his weed multiple times. I would just give him cash, like, not like a lot, but like a handful of times I've given him cash, and I would be like, here you go, babe, it's for your weed. $80. Buy a weed. I don't know how much it is, okay? Do I? Oh, no, I don't remember the prices, but hey, $80 is $80. Like, what the heck? I'm not rich. The fact that I'm even paying for that, man, I was so whipped. Or, like, not only that, but, like, I would try it with him, you know? Like, I tried to smoke for him because he really desperately wanted a girlfriend to smoke weed with, and I was so willing to try, and I tried, and it wasn't for me. And in the beginning, he was like, whatever, like, if you don't like it, that's fine, like, at least you tried it. And then at the end of the relationship, he was like, you don't try enough for me, here. And he would stick it right in my mouth and be like, just smoke a little bit for me, please. Like, I just really want a girlfriend to be high with. And it just wasn't my thing, okay? So, bummer for him. But, yeah, I never hated it. Ever. I never hated. Oops, what's going on here? But, yeah, it was just kind of a bummer. Because he just kept saying all these excuses on why he cheated on me. But, like, I just felt like they weren't valid. First of all, is there really ever a valid excuse to cheating? Okay, yeah, like, abuse, right? So there are some valid reasons to cheating on someone, but, like, saying that I didn't like him being a vegetarian, or, I was gonna say a weeder, or a stoner, as saying that was the reason why you cheated on me, when I was totally supportive of, like, literally everything you did. Not that cool, dude. Uncool. Very uncool, actually. Another reason why he, like, cheated on me was because, Leslie, you never want to do the things that I want to do. I want to go to thrift stores, and if you can't handle that, like it's not gonna work out. Like I just really like going to thrift stores, and that's just who I am. And if you can handle, like, okay, that is not a joke. He said that he was never going to grow out of going to thrift stores, and that was just something I was going to have to deal with if I wanted to work with him, like, work it out with him. First of all, I have no... If you want to go to thrift stores, dude, cool. Like, that's fun. And I don't mind thrift stores. My ex loved thrift stores with a passion, which is fine. Like, you do you. That is, people like to go thrifting. That's cool. I personally have never been interested in that, and there's nothing, I have nothing against it, okay? The thing with my ex is that he wanted to go to a thrift store every day. And I wish I was exaggerating, but I am not. He was obsessed with thrifting. Thrifting, yeah. That's, I don't know why I said it weird, but... And, like, the thing is, I'm very just, like... I was always happy to spend time with him, even if it was doing something that I wasn't super fond of. So, like... Why did that erase? So, like, going to a thrift store, like, it was fun, but it wasn't really my favorite thing to do. But I was like, whatever. If he likes to do it, then I'll just deal with it. But kind of, like, towards, like, the more I had to do it with him, the thrifting, the less, like... Here's the thing. He would spend over an hour in each thrift store. And sometimes he would make me go to like 2 or 3 different thrift stores back to back and spend like 30 minutes to an hour in each. And if that's what you're into, that's super cool. But I'm not really into that. And he would get mad because I wasn't as excited as he was. And I would tell him, like, hey, okay, like, I'm sorry, like, I can't really get into this like you can, but, like, I'll try. Or, you know, I'll be like, okay, like, I'll try to get more into this, but maybe next time we can do something that I want to do. Maybe we can go to, like, I was, like, begging him to take me to a botanical garden. And he'd be like, yeah, you're right. Like, I always pick what we want to do. Like, next weekend we'll go to your botanical garden. I keep saying that weird. Botanical garden. And I'd be like, okay, cool. And then when that weekend would come, he'd be like, oh, I don't feel like driving there. Or the traffic is bad. Or it's too early. Or it's too late. There's too many people. It's like, probably not, I don't know. It was just always an excuse with him to not do what I wanted to do. And the fact that I was always expected to be, like, super, like, yeah, let's go to a thrift store and spend 3 hours in there. Like, I just wasn't that type of person. I'm not, you know, like, I try, but I wasn't, you know? And I remember, like, towards the end of the relationship when things weren't really working out, he was, like, really upset that I wasn't being super excited about going to thrift stores with him. And I remember this one time, like... I don't remember why. Well, I was going through really bad depression towards the end of the relationship because, like, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't figure out what. And he was always saying it was my fault. So I was just not in a good headspace, right? And there was one time where he took me to a thrift store again. And I was like, listen, I love you, but, like, I don't really feel like being here. Is it okay if I just kind of, like, stay in the car? Like, I just didn't want to get out of the car. And he was like, what? Like, I don't remember what he said, actually, so I'm not going to pretend to even make something up. But he didn't want me to stay in the car. And I was like, okay, well, there's, like, an art store across the street. Could you maybe, like, drop me off there? And then you can come here, and we'll spend, like, whatever time, and then you can pick me up. And he was like, no, like, there's not fair. Like, and I was like, okay, well, okay. Either I go to the art store, or I just stay in the car. And I ended up staying in the car. And I was, like, totally fine with that. I was not at all... I was so cool. It was like not a hot day or anything. I just stayed in the car. The AC was on. I was just like on my phone and I was like trying to just relax. I was so happy to not be in the thrift store for like another hour. And then he came back early and he was like, it wasn't fun because like you weren't there and you made me feel so guilty for enjoying what I like to enjoy. And I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like I felt so guilty for making me feel that way, but I was like, dude, we went to the thrift store yesterday, and we went to the thrift store the last time we hung out, and I just, like, don't want to be at thrift stores anymore, dude. But, yeah, the fact that when he was breaking up with me, even, like, before I caught him cheating, like, even before that, he was like, yeah, like, this is just who I am, and if you can't enjoy being at a thrift store with me, like, it's just not gonna work out. I'm like, dude, I can enjoy being at a thrift store with you, but, like, can you go when I'm not with you? And he would go to thrift stores when I wasn't with him, but just like not enough to satiate his thrift store boner. Like, I don't know why he just couldn't do it, but it was, oh my god, such a bummer. This isn't even me being that petty, it's just me ranting about my last relationship. I'm gonna be petty, so time to be a little bit petty. I don't think I know what petty means. So, speaking about the breakup. Alright, pause it right there. We're going to be talking about the first breakup. If you are under the age of 18, please skip to this part right here. If you are uncomfortable with some not safe for work talk, skip to that same time stamp. And if you are related to me at all, if you're a cousin, a sibling, an adult in my family, skip to this timestamp. Please, I'm begging you, don't watch this part. Okay. We're going to be talking about some stuff that's... okay. So, speaking about the breakup. Remember how I said that when I caught him cheating on me, I asked him, because he broke up with me like 2 weeks before, I asked him, hey, if you were cheating on me this whole time, why did you take me back the first time you broke up with me? And he said, it was because you were crying, and like you weren't supposed to cry. Like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know why my voice always gets like that when I'm pretending to be him. It wasn't just that, and I know this for a fact. My dog is having a dream. Let's listen. You're okay, Bubba. You're okay. You're just dreaming, Bubba. You're just dreaming. Yeah, you're a dreamy boy. It's okay. Take your time. Where was I going with this? Right. So the first time he broke up with me, and he was like, you were crying, you weren't supposed to cry, whatever. So, I remember, I cried. He took it back. He was like, alright, like, Leslie, do you really mean it when you said that you want to make things work? And I was like, yes, I really meant that. And he was like, cool. Let's not break up anymore. Also, can we go to two thrift stores? So we went to 2 thrift stores after he broke up with me. I had like mascara, like kind of running down. And I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. And he was like, no, leave it. And I was like, okay. So I went to a thrift store with tear marks of mascara. Oh my god. And I wish that was also an exaggeration, but it's not. Oh my god. And I was like, okay, like, you should drop me off at home now. And I had Bo with me, by the way. I had my dog with me because he really wanted me to bring my dog while he was breaking up with me, because he was like, he would make you feel better. And I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, like I should go home and take care of my dog, and we'll just, we'll talk, we'll just hang out like tomorrow or whatever. And he was like, no, how about we go home and you drop off your dog and you spend the night at my place. And I was like, I don't know, man. It's been kind of like a day, but I was like, okay, yeah, like, because the thing is, after he broke up with me and then took it back immediately, I was such a yes man. I was such like a, I'll do whatever you say, babe. Like, I just want to make things work. I agreed to everything he wanted. Not that I didn't before, but like sometimes I would kind of like express my opinions before, and now after that I was like, I'm just gonna do whatever he says, because like I really want to make things work out. So like I just didn't have a backbone at all in the last part of the relationship. But yeah, he was like, let's drop your dog off at home and we'll go back to my place. And I was like, okay. And he was like, when you were like crying for me to not break up with you. And I was like, yeah, that happened like an hour ago. He was like, well, I'm gonna be honest, Leslie, like, the fact that you were crying for me and you were being so vulnerable, like, it just like really turned me on. And I was like, okay. And he was like, no, like, I'm being sure, like, look down, like, look at my pants. And I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it, I know what you want. And he was like, yeah, let's just go drop off your dog and let's just like have a good night together. I was like, okay. So yeah, that's kind of what happened, and it kind of sucked because it was never a good time. But like, I remember like that night was pretty much just him getting like whatever he wanted and me trying to be happy, but I would break down crying a lot because like it was such like a whirlwind of emotions, like to be broken up with by the guy that like kept promising you that he didn't want to break up with you and that he wanted to make things work. So for him to be suddenly be like, I don't want to be with you anymore, you suck, and then be like, you know what, just kidding, I love you, and then to be like, I'm really horny. like it was just so much to deal with, and like I couldn't stop thinking that. I was like, wow, things really aren't that great because he was breaking up with me. Like we're not in a good spot. Like I just kept like randomly breaking down and crying, and just like it was just not a good, that was not a good night. Like that was a terrible night. It was so bad. And more with that is that he was so, I don't know, it just like, whew. And even before that, like he always got his way. He was, my ex, like doesn't really understand what the word no means. He thinks no means convince me. So that's kind of like not that fun of a time. But the fact that he always got his way anyways, I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me. Like, what a jerk. But anyways, more on that topic is that he was very, very self-conscious, whatever, of his performance. And like I said, this is gonna get not super TMI because I'm gonna try to be vague, but it's just so funny. So do you guys know a singer slash songwriter by the name of Lily Allen? She is fantastic. I love her stuff. Adore that lady. My favorite song from her is so many good songs. Heard Out Here, great song. What's that one song? I don't remember. The Fear, it's a great song. And Smile, I think that's the title. Yeah, so she has great music. I love her. And so I like rediscovered her in 2019, and I loved her music. I made a playlist of her songs. No really rhyme or reason to like what songs okay, the songs I put in the playlist were songs that I liked. That's literally it. That's it, right? Okay, so I liked her music, made a playlist of her songs. And then later, like in like I think this was June of 2019, me and my ex were like vibing in his car, picking up pizza because we're gonna have a really fun night. I still love that night. It was my favorite night like ever. But I was like, oh my god, like I found this singer, I love her stuff, like let's listen to her. So we listened to her, and one of the songs on the playlist, it's a song called Unfair, or Not Fair. I think it's called Not Fair. And I'm not going to sing the lyrics because I've been told that I'm a terrible singer, but I will recite the lyrics to you. So the lyrics are, it's not fair and I think you're really mean. I think you're really mean. I think you're really mean. Oh, you're supposed to care, but you never make me scream. You never make me scream. So, as you can tell, it's kind of like a risque song. The whole song is about that, and it's such a fun song. I love that song. And so that song starts playing, and I was having a great time, like, vibing to her music. And I remember, like, in the middle of the song, he was, like, he got so upset. He was, like, I feel like you put this song in the playlist because, like, it made you think of me, and, like, I feel like you're trying to say something. And I was like, dude, no. Like, I just put this song in the playlist because I like her music. But he was, like, so hurt that I would listen to a song about that. And I was like, okay, never mind. Like, we'll skip it. It's no big deal. And so we skipped the song. But just the fact that, like, you have to go listen to that song. Go listen to that song right now. And then imagine you taking offense to that song, or anybody taking offense to that song. Like listen, if I like sent him that song and I was like, this makes me think of you, like, I get it, right? But it was like a playlist of all of her music, and that song was in there. I wasn't like, I didn't put that song in the playlist to be like, oh my god, I'm gonna hurt his feelings, I'm so excited, like, this is how I'm gonna get the message across. Like, I wasn't like that. I was just like, I really like the song. Into the playlist it goes, like, whatever. And like, he was so hurt that I was listening to that song. And he was hurt by that stuff a lot. Like, if I, like, you know, like, YouTubers breakup videos, like, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes they're fun videos to watch. Like, I feel so bad, like, to watch somebody's, like, breakup, right? But, like, sometimes I would watch those videos, especially when there were YouTubers that I actually watched. Like, I would watch them because I'd be like, wow, like, and it was sad, right? But then, like, if you would catch me watching them, people would be like, why are you watching those breakup videos? Like, you're saying that you want to break up with me. And I was like, no, like, my favorite YouTuber broke up with her boyfriend. Like, I'm just watching. Like, it's just content that I'm you know, like, but he would take everything really, like, personally. And it just sucked because I felt like I couldn't enjoy anything without him trying to find this meaning that it had to do with him. Like, how selfish. And, yeah, just like the whole intimacy thing with him, like, sucked. Like, it was not a good time. I don't miss being intimate with him at all. And I feel so bad saying, okay, I don't feel bad. He cheated on me, so I shouldn't feel bad. But, like, I don't miss the intimacy. I miss, like, the kisses and hugging and, like, cuddling parts. But, like, the actual, like that stuff, I don't miss at all. Like, there's nothing to miss. This is me being petty. Call me petty. You have my permission. But, yeah, and I remember, like, oh, yeah, this is not working. Okay. And I remember, it was my fault that I wasn't having a great time. Like, he would get so mad at me. He was like, look, I don't get why you're not, you know, like, I'm gonna censor that, right? But, like, he was like, I don't get why it's not working for you, like, why it's not feeling great for you, because, like, all my ex-girlfriends, like, I would make them, and, like, I don't get why you're not doing this. Like, he was, even before we even started dating, he was always bragging to me about how he can make all of his ex-girlfriends, and, like, he was, like, bragging about his, like, talents in the bedroom. And, let me tell you guys, if somebody is ever bragging about their, like, performance, that's just some skinny PP energy. Like, don't, it's probably false. From my experience, it's definitely false, but it was just, like, and I, you know, like, I remember feeling so weird when he would talk about that stuff, and I would tell him, like, I don't know if I want to really talk about that stuff with you. But, like, the fact that he was so offended that I wasn't having that great of a time, and he was like, well, it's your fault because you're not super comfortable with yourself. And I was like, that's fair. That's a fair argument because I'm not super comfortable with myself. He'd be like, you have to do all this research. Here's all these websites. Here's to do this and do this and do that. And next time we do this, and blah, blah. And I'd be like, okay. And then I tried to do some research on it. And then the next time, like, it was not much different. He'd be like, you're not doing as much research as I want you to. And I'd be like, well, I think I would enjoy this a lot. So maybe could you do this? And he'd be like, okay. And then he wouldn't do it. And then he's like, I don't get why it's not working. I'm like, you didn't do anything. I don't know. I feel like this is getting too TMI. But just know, it wasn't great. I don't miss him in that regards in the slightest. And I remember it got to the point where, like it would get me so mad. Because, like, when you're being intimate with someone, like, I didn't care that I wasn't, you know, like, I wasn't doing that. I was just like, I love him so much. Like, the fact that I get to be with him is enough. And he was always, like, pressuring me to do that, you know. And I was like, the more that you pressure me, like, the less it's going to happen. Because I feel like I have to do this. And he was, I don't know, it just sucked. And he kept, like, comparing me to all of his exes to be like, this worked for them, that worked for this person, this worked for that. And I was like, I'm not that person. Like, everybody is different. Everybody likes different things when it comes to intimacy. Like, you can't treat me like all of your exes. And I remember being so mad at him. I desperately wanted to be like, dude, your exes faked it. I don't know what to tell you. But, like, I never said it because, like, I don't have that proof. You know? I just wanted to say that because he was, like, pissing me off. But I never said it, I don't think. Unless I was drunk and I don't remember it. But as far as I know, I never said that because I didn't want to hurt him. Because he was, like, the love of my life or whatever. So, it just sucked, though. Like, being with somebody who's, like, constantly pressuring you to, like... And it's just, like, if you pressure someone to, like, react a certain way or whatever, it's not gonna happen, you know? It's just not gonna do it. It's not fun. I hated it. I don't miss it at all. I don't know, man. Anyways, moving on. That was a long section. I have to pee so bad. I have to pee so bad. I gotta stop recording. Oh my god. I'm gonna burst. I'm like a goddamn gigolo, ready to burst. Game grumps. If you're wondering why I'm sitting in a different spot, you can, oh, there he is. My dog decided to go in my spot when I went to go pee. So I'm just gonna say a couple more things and then I'm gonna end the video. So hi my love. Do you like your little bed? I love you, my sweet baby boy. Fun fact, if you remember in my last video on my relationship, I said that my ex didn't show any emotion when I caught him cheating and when I picked him up from his girlfriend's friend's house, his other girlfriend's friend's house and all that stuff. He didn't show any emotion besides anger. There was one part, there's a split second where he showed remorse, and I forgot to mention this, I don't know why. And that was when I told him, I was like, my dog is really gonna miss you. And that was the one time where he was like, I know. The only time he ever showed any type of remorse was when I mentioned my dog. He was so in love with my dog, which is why I called him my dog's daddy. That kind of whatever. Anyways, the relationship was really unbalanced. Like it was very much centered around him. Kind of sucked. What did he want to do? What did he want me to do? What? I don't know. It was very much just whatever he wanted I would do. And whoa, that is very pigmented. And I remember, like, oh my god, so he would ask me to massage him and he'd be like, just massage like my back, but it would always lead to like the arms and the shoulders and the legs and the feet. Like I would end up massaging his whole body, right? And these massages would last anywhere from 30 minutes to over an hour, like normally, you know, like it was never anything below that. And I was, for the most part, so down to do this because I loved him and I was like, he needs a massage, I'll do it for him. Like I was so fine like doing that for him. But sometimes I wouldn't want to do it because like I just came back from an 8+ hour shift at work, or just, you know, I'm an artist, I work with my hands. Sometimes my wrists would hurt and I'd be like, I don't want to massage you today, dude, like my wrist really hurts. And he eventually learned that if he wanted a massage from me when I didn't want to massage him, all he had to do was say, I'll watch Haikyuu with you. And I would immediately, because I've been begging to watch this show with him, my favorite anime of all time, he would turn on Haikyuu, the English dub, because he doesn't like watching subs. Which is fine because like there are jokes in the dub that aren't in the sub, so it's like fine, whatever, a new experience. And I could easily watch like 3 episodes back to back while massaging him because I'd be like, oh my god, this is like another favorite character, I love this, blah blah blah. And he was like, I don't think he even cared. He was just like, as long as he got his massage. And then sometimes he would be like, if you massage me, I promise I'll massage you back. I would massage him for 30 minutes to an hour. He would massage me for 10 minutes at most, and then he'd be like, I'm tired. And that's it. And that's all I would get. And they sucked. They always sucked. I'd be like, you're not doing it hard enough, or you're doing it too hard. And it was never perfect. And I mean, not that it could be perfect. Like, I don't know if perfection even exists out there, but the fact that I would only get like a 10-minute massage at most after massaging him for an hour, and then he'd be like, I'm tired. Like, do you not think I get tired? Like, the whole relationship was like that. Not just for that, by the way. Like, it's just not fun. It just sucked being there. That was such a prison. And like with work and like anytime we wanted to hang out, like we wanted to go to like on a Disneyland trip, or like anything that somebody had to take a day off of work, I'd be like, hey, can we plan it for these days so that we each only have to take like a day off of work? Because I would work mostly on weekends. Like I would work all week, but I would always work the weekends and he would always get the weekends off. So I'd be like, can we if it was like a 3-day trip, can we plan it so that I only take 1 day off of work and he only takes 1 day off of work? You know what I mean? So it was like an even amount of days off of work, and he'd be like, I can't do that, like I have a real job, like I went to school for this, so like I feel like it makes sense that you have to be the one to take days off of work. And I was like, I get that my job isn't as important as yours, but like I don't want to be the only person to have to request days off. Like I feel like what I'm suggesting is like an equal amount, you know? He's like, no, like my job is really important, like I just can't. And I was like, okay. And then like it got worse when I became a supervisor, because I worked at a really small, like tiny company, like a handful of employees, and I became a supervisor, and there's only like 1 or 2 other supervisors. So like we had to, like, it was a very like strict schedule pretty much. It was like if one of us needed a day off, it was really hard to get somebody else to cover, you know? And so I remember when they offered me this position, I like wanted to turn them down because I am not a leader. I'm not a leader. And I told him, I'm like, yeah, they offered me this position, but like I really don't want it. Like I don't want to be a supervisor. And he was like, this would look really good on your resume, like you should really do it. And I was like, I don't know, man, like I really don't want to. And like if I take this position, like I won't be able to, like, it was really easy to get days off of work when it wasn't a supervisor, you know, because so many people wanted to work, so like I could always find somebody to cover. What am I doing with this? Why am I not like making new layers? But like, yeah, so when they offered me this position, I was like, okay, like I know, I keep saying like, I'm so sorry. I know it's really easy for me to get somebody to cover for me, but once I become a supervisor, it's not gonna be that easy. And he was so fine with it. He said it was gonna be good on my resume, and I was like, okay. And then the moment I become a supervisor, she's like, you spend so much time at work, like you can't get days off anymore. I don't understand, you never want to like hang out with me, and it's so hard for you to get days off of work. And I was like, yeah, I told you this would happen, and you're the one who forced me into taking this position, and now you're unhappy. He's like, yeah, you don't spend enough time with me anymore, and that's why I'm cheating on you. Like, it was so, I feel so bad for doing that voice for him. He doesn't talk like that. You know his voice. I still have the videos up with him, so you know what he sounds like, but yeah, I don't know. I think I just make that voice for him because he was high 24/7 towards the end of the relationship. It was not fun. Oh my god, it wasn't fun at all. It sucked, but what can I do? That was a relationship. I need to stop talking. It's too long of a video. So was I petty enough? I feel like I wasn't petty enough. I feel like I was petty a little bit, and I could have been more petty, but I could easily make like 20 more videos about this topic. So I have so many more like intimacy stories that I really want to tell you guys, but I'm saving those for a special day. So was that fun? To the person who said I was being petty for talking about how I caught him cheating, is this petty enough for you? To the person who said that they think he's funny and adorable, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you, genuinely? Anyways, Hinata, why did you just fall over like that? That was one hell of a video. Sorry for the TMI stuff, but you know, 2021, I'm making videos that I want to make. I'm going to talk about things that I want to talk about. This is what I want to talk about. If you don't like it, you can just leave. I don't care. So, if you worked on something and you are comfortable posting that something, go ahead and post it on Twitter or Instagram, Tumblr, whatever. I don't go on Tumblr, so Twitter or Instagram. Post it there and tag it with OwlsNestYT. And maybe you'll be featured in next week's, or the week after that, next Owl's Nest video. And yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Next video I will be talking about the healing process after catching him cheating, so it's gonna be fun. It might be a little more emotional, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to have fun. So that was this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be good owlets, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! I probably said like so many times. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. bye.